The nightclub rocks with music while everyone's having fun. A fun guy and his chick head to the restroom to have a fun time together. The guy wants to play some games, but the chick is worried that someone might open the door and walk in on them. She suggests that they lock the door, but the guy reminds her that club restroom doors have no lock. Her fear comes to pass when a drunk guy walks in on them. The drunk guy apologizes for the interference and leaves. Meanwhile, the drunk guy came to the club with the three of his friends. Even though he leaves, the image of the fun guy and the chick doing the thing cannot leave his head. The four also have girls in their corners with them, but the girls are proving difficult. The guys want to have a good time, but the girls are not down for that because the four guys are millennials and not the fun Gen Z they are used to. There is a particular guy among the four friends, Seungtae, who is also not really into what they are doing. He just wants to have his drink and have fun, that's all. The drunk guy from the restroom finally gets tired of the girls' shenanigans, and he suggests that they also have fun just like the guys he stumbled upon in the restroom. However, the girls just leave in anger. After the girls are gone, the guy tells his friends that they need to tip the waiter so that they can get girls who are willing to get down with them. Without wasting time, they ruffle a currency note to the waiter to get the job done, while the guys wonder if their friend is telling the truth about the restroom saga. The waiter waits no time in getting the job done, and he secures two ladies for the guys. Meanwhile, Seungtae is already sleeping from having too much to drink when the girls walk in. Even though the girls are not really into the so-called old men, they still decide to sit down and talk with them. The girls reveal that they also came with their friends to the nightclub. While the girls are discussing with the guys, Seungtae finally wakes up from sleep. This is where things start to get real, because immediately he raises his head from the table. One of the girls, Juha, recognizes him. Juha calls him Teacher Seungtae, and she lets him know that another of their friends, Sumin, is also in the club with them. Seungtae cannot believe his eyes because the girls shouldn't be in the club since they are freaking high schoolers. All he could ask is who allowed them into the club since they are basically kids. To get into the context of the entire thing, 7 months ago, 28-year-old Seungtae rolled up at a girls' high school. He is on the verge of receiving his college degree, but he needs to take a teaching job as practice before he can get his degree. Even though our guy doesn't like teaching, he has no choice. The moment he is introduced to the class, the entire population of girls goes wild for him. The girls waste no time in showing their interest in Seungtae. Seungtae soon finds himself surrounded by them. Seungtae already has the feeling that something like this might happen, but didn't think it would happen so fast. Amidst the chaos and frustration, Seungtae notices that there are 3 particular friends who have banging bodies and don't look like they are high schoolers. These are Juha and her 2 friends, Sumin and Songa. During his stay in the school, Juha developed an interest in Seungtae, but the guy didn't allow the interest to grow before leaving. Now, in the present day in the nightclub, Seungtae cannot believe that he is staring at Juha. He is still trying to process the entire thing when Juha lets him know that she missed him so much after he finished his teaching practice and left. Things start to get weird in the room as Juha moves closer to Seungtae, leaving his friends wondering what the hell is going on. Juha is ready to get down with Seungtae in the room, which leaves him totally perplexed. Seungtae is shocked that the girls are not running away, even though they stumbled upon their teacher in a nightclub. In the midst of the entire chaos, Sumin also enters, leaving Seungtae totally bummed out. He now has 3 girls on his hands, and he has to look after them. Seungtae knows that his friends will waste no time jumping on any opportunity they get with the girls. Out of nowhere, the girls check out their phones to know what the time is. It is finally 12 a.m., and they jump up in joy because they are finally 20 years old. They now consider themselves adults, and with this, they are free to do what they want, but Seungtae is all the more worried. Juha and his friends immediately start drinking, and they suggest other fun things to do, like karaoke. While all of this is going on, Seungtae's friends can only imagine what they could do to the girls. Seungtae knows that care needs to be taken, or else the inevitable will happen before they know it. Seungtae thinks of stopping the girls, but doesn't know how. Meanwhile, his friends are already planning on how to take a motel room and have a blast with the unsuspecting girls. The fun continues, and the guys impress the girls with how much they can drink. They suggest mixing the drinks with soju at a ratio of 1:1 to avoid vomiting. Seungtae knows their plan, and he tries telling his friends to keep it on a low, but instead of doing this, they increase the intensity of the drinking. He becomes seriously worried, and he wants to prevent this before things get too late. At this point, the guys are already asking the girls where they are staying. The friends do their best to make sure that the girls have enough to drink to get them loose. Seungtae, on the other hand, tries his best not to drink so he can keep his eyes on the girls. However, Juha finds a way to push him to drink while his friends urge him on because of what they plan to do. Seungtae finally gets down to drinking with the group. Juha suggests that they have a love shot, but our guy gulps his drink to avoid drama. This only causes Juha to get mad, and she starts gulping the drinks like they are water. Before they know it, the drinks start to kick in, and they are all getting drunk. Our main guy thinks of getting the girls home, but before he can finish this thought, he falls asleep with his other friends staring down at him. Seungtae is bad with strong drinks, which is why he totally got knocked out. When Seungtae wakes up, he finds himself in a motel room with no clothes on. He starts to wonder how he got to a motel room and why he is there in the first place. This is where it dawns on him that things must have gotten out of hand. He seems to be alone in the room, and the girls are nowhere to be found, which also includes his friends. Seungtae quickly picks up his phone to call one of his friends, Kwang Nam, but he refuses to pick up. Seungtae starts getting the feeling that his friends are currently somewhere, hitting it off with the girls. He tries calling another friend, Jungpyo, and this time, Jungpyo picks up. Seungtae is relieved to hear Jungpyo's voice, but suddenly, Seungtae realizes that Jungpyo is in the middle of a stroking session. Seungtae hears a familiar female voice on the phone. Jungpyo is shocked that Seungtae is already awake and sober all of a sudden. Seungtae asks Jungpyo who he is currently with, but the guy refuses to answer and just drops the call, leaving Seungtae racking his brain. Seungtae is totally angry and he tosses away his phone. He thinks of finding the girls, but he doesn't know where to start from. Suddenly, Seungtae realizes that there is a woman's underwear in the room with him. Before he can fully assess the situation, Songa comes out of the bathroom fully undressed and surprised that the teacher is now awake. The situation gets terribly awkward as Seungtae stares down at Songa in total disbelief. The first question Songa asks Seungtae is when he got up before she finally realizes that she is unclothed. She bends to cover herself while telling Seungtae not to look. In the process of adjusting, Seungtae trips, and as he falls down, Songa tries helping him, but ends up falling on him too. They were only trying to avoid looking, but are now down to body contacts before they know it. All of Songa's tempting body parts are wrapped around Seungtae. The two manage to get off each other after a moment of awkwardness. Seungtae starts to wonder how Songa ended up in the same room with him. It finally dawns on Seungtae that he had too much to drink and was knocked out. The last thing he remembers is having a drink in the bar. Seungtae then asks Songa why she is still not dressed. Songa reveals that she cannot because of what happened. Seungtae has no memory of what happened, forcing Songa to give him a full recap of how they ended up in the motel room and what transpired while he was drunk. After having so much to drink and the group left the bar, Kwangnam offers to take Songa home, but she refuses. On her way home, she finds Seungtae totally knocked out in the street while hugging a can. Songa could not leave her teacher this way, and she managed to drag him to the motel room since they couldn't even get a taxi to help. Seungtae is still acting all grateful for Songa's help, until he realizes that something must have gone south for him to be lying unclothed. This is when Songa is forced to reveal the horrifying truth. Seungtae was so drunk that he mistook Songa for someone else, Hyungjung. He suddenly dragged Songa closer, locked lips with her, and got down to touch her body. Even Songa couldn't resist, and before they knew it, Seungtae had gone into Songa, even if it was just for a short moment. After a short moment of fun, Songa washed all of her clothes, which is why she now has nothing to wear. Upon hearing the full recap of everything, Seungtae is highly disappointed in himself, even though he doesn't even remember doing any of it. Seungtae still sees Songa as a kid and his student to top it all off. Seungtae apologizes to the girl, letting her know that he had too much to drink, which is why he ultimately misbehaved. To further give Seungtae a context of what happened, Songa lets him know that he left the bar himself. Juha escorted him a bit before locking lips with him in front of everyone, making his friends ultimately jealous. One of his friends even considers going back to college so he can become a teacher and also enjoy the privilege that Seungtae is enjoying. After the kiss, Seungtae leaves without looking back, but even he doesn't remember all of these. Seungtae just knows with everything he is going to hear from Songa, things are going to get worse every minute. When Seungtae asks about Songa's friends, the reply he gets lets him know that the voice he heard on the phone earlier with Jungpyo is none other than Juha. Seungtae is absolutely horrified at what is currently happening, and to even make it worse, Songa lets him know that Sumin was the most drunk of them all. Since she was very drunk, Seungtae's friend Bongkyu was the one who quickly offered to take her home. Seungtae screams out in horror because Bongkyu is the worst of them all. Seungtae realizes that he cannot even blame the girls, since they are still kids and they are totally naive. It is now clear to him that Jungpyo is with Juha while Sumin is with Bongkyu. Seungtae gives Bongkyu the benefit of the doubt, hoping that the guy doesn't do anything rash. Unknown to him, Bongkyu is in a motel with Sumin. Bongkyu lays Sumin to sleep, but he remains restless. Bongkyu contemplates touching the sleeping girl but tries to resist, even though he is hard. Bongkyu stands in the room like a total creep, staring down at Sumin as she sleeps. Bongkyu finally gives in to temptation and decides to touch Sumin, even though she is sleeping and the idea is not right. Just as he holds onto the sleeping girl, she suddenly wakes up. The situation immediately becomes awkward, with Bongkyu stammeringly trying to explain what's going on. When Sumin asks the old guy where she is, Bongkyu reveals that she was too drunk, which is why he brought her to a motel to cool off. After the explanation, Sumin thanks Bongkyu and decides she needs to go home before everyone starts worrying about her. As she prepares to leave, Bongkyu's temptation rises, and he decides to stop Sumin from exiting the room. Bongkyu tries to explain to Sumin why he brought her to the motel and the fact that the room he paid for is quite expensive. Bongkyu lets the cat out of the bag by telling Sumin that he would like to have skinship with her. Sumin is still trying to process the entire thing when Bongkyu pounces on her and locks lips with her. Since Sumin is now an adult, Bongkyu doesn't think he is doing anything bad. In the midst of trying to have his way, the girl lets him know that they are not in a relationship and they can't be doing this, but Bongkyu is not going to allow this to stop him, and he immediately declares that they are now dating just so he can have his way. Before Sumin knows what is happening, Bongkyu has undressed her, and he is on the verge of having his way with her. Meanwhile, Songa is still trying to reach Sumin, but to no avail. Even Seungtae wonders why everyone is not picking up their calls. It then suddenly occurs to Seungtae that he actually did something with Songa, even if it was short. To avoid further temptation, Seungtae suggests they leave the motel room as soon as possible. However, Songa lets the guy know that she can't leave yet because she is still wet. The moment Seungdi hears this, his brain immediately assumes that Songa is wet down there. However, Seungtae is left stunned when he realizes that Songa is talking about her wet clothes. It is pretty obvious that she is stuck in the room until her clothes dry. To find a way to get out quickly, Seungtae brings up the idea of squeezing the cloth so that it can dry even faster. To kill the awkward vibe in the room, Seungtae suggests they watch TV. However, this only worsens things as they end up watching a station that further fuels their temptation. At this point, Seungtae is frustrated, and he can only ask when the clothes are going to dry. Back at Bongkyu's motel room, he is now having his way with Sumin. Even though Sumin resisted at first, she finally gave in and is now also enjoying the moment. While waiting for the clothes to dry, Songa decides to kill time by sleeping. Moments later, Seungtae realizes that Songa is exposed, and he starts having wild thoughts toward her. While he is trying to hold back on all the naughty things he can do to Songa, Bongkyu is having the time of his life with Sumin. After much deliberation, Seungtae finally makes the bold move to cover Songa. In the process of doing this, Songa wakes up to see the teacher above her. As usual, the situation gets awkward again. Seungtae quickly opens up, telling Songa that he was only trying to help. However, Songa doesn't take offense because she knows that he was trying to cover her up. Moments later, tension rises between the two, and they end up coming close to each other. Before they know what is happening, the two lock lips. Even Seungtae is in total disbelief as he tries to grab a hold of himself, but so far it doesn't seem to be working. Seungtae finds it hard to control himself and ends up colliding with Songa. This moment of pleasure forces him to remember his ex-girlfriend, Hyun-jung. As the pleasure continues, Seungtae also remembers when he went to the all-girls school for his teaching practice. Back then, the principal told him to be careful around the girls because they were known to go crazy around male teachers. Seungtae doesn't think this should be a problem because he has a girlfriend and can also control himself. However, the principal still urges Seungtae to draw a proper line between himself and the students to avoid any form of temptation. A week after that, Seungtae is minding his business when he runs into Juha. Juha, being the crazy chick that she is, wastes no time getting close to the teacher. She compliments him and also places a kiss on his cheek while declaring that Seungtae now belongs to her. Before Seungtae can get a hold of the situation, Juha runs off. Some days later, Seungtae runs into two of Juha's friends who come bearing a message for him. They let him know that they have been looking everywhere for him. The two tell Seungtae that Juha would like to see him after school that day. Seungtae doesn't take this seriously, as he tells the girls that he is busy and will not be able to come. This only causes the girls to get mad, and they start running their mouths, talking about how Seungtae is dating Juha to the extent that they have even kissed. Seungtae realizes that he is going to be in trouble if they keep talking about this, so he finally agrees to meet Juha, but intends to talk sense into her when they meet. Later that day, Juha and Seungtae meet. Seungtae wastes no time asking the girl why she is busy spreading rumors about kissing him, but Juha justifies this by reminding Seungtae that they had an indirect kiss. Seungtae doesn't know what an indirect kiss is and ends up raising his voice at the girl. This only causes her to start crying, which obviously makes the situation worse because the entire room now has their attention on them. To stop the girl from crying, Seungtae ends up exchanging contact with her. It is now 7 months later, and Seungtae can't believe that he actually ran into Juha and her friends at a nightclub. Their meeting at the nightclub didn't end with drinks, but he is now having fun with Songa, which he never imagined in the past. As the fun continues, Seungtae tries to rid himself of the guilt by reminding himself that the girls are now adults. Moreover, it has happened anyway, and there is no going back now. While Seungtae is with Songa, Sumin and Bongkyu are coming to the end of the fun session. Bongkyu gives Sumin some of his juice, but she spills it out, letting Bongkyu know that it tastes pretty weird. On the other hand, Seungtae does the same with Songa, and instead of spilling it, she enjoys it. Once the fun is over, Songa heads to the restroom to clean up, leaving Seungdae on the bed. This is when reality finally dawns on Seungdae. He is calm now, and he can finally think about what he just did to his former student. He is in the middle of this when he receives a call from Bongkyu, telling him to come over to a restaurant so that they can relieve their hangover. Before hanging up, Bongkyu lets Seungtae know that he is now in a relationship with Sumin. Seungtae gets mad when he hears this, and he wastes no time rushing to the restaurant to meet Bongkyu. Getting to the restaurant, the first thing Seungtae asks Bongkyu is what happened to Sumin and Juha. Even Bongkyu is surprised that Seungtae came at him with questions. Bongkyu answers the guy, letting him know that he was with Sumin while Juha went with Jungpyo. Seungtae is in total disbelief, and as if this is not enough, Bongkyu makes it worse by asking Seungtae for Songa's number because she is next on his naughty to-do list. Seungtae asks the fat trash what he wants with Songa's number. This is when the revelation about what happened comes to life. Apparently, Bongkyu's original target was Songa. He tried taking her home, but she rejected him, and he ended up with Sumin instead. Since Sumin was very drunk, it was easy for him to take the girl to a motel. Seungtae then asks Bongkyu if he has been able to reach Jungpyo, but his answer is negative. Bongkyu went home first the night before, so he didn't see Jungpyo and Juha together. On the other hand, Seungtae is pretty convinced that the voice he heard on the phone earlier was Juha's voice. However, he doesn't think he is in a position to blame any of his trash friends because he also had his time with Songa. In fact, he considers himself the worst of all. Later that day, while he is sitting all by himself, he gets the temptation to call Songa. This reminds him of their earlier discussion. After they were done having fun, Seungtae begged Songa not to tell anyone what transpired between them, and she agreed. However, Songa asks Seungtae about Hyunjung because this is the name he mentioned in his sleep. Songa guessed right when she asked Seungtae if Hyunjung was his ex-girlfriend. After thinking about all of this, our boy decides that it will not be good for him to call Songa. He wants to forget about everything that happened and move on from it. Suddenly, he gets a call from Juha. Juha tells Seungtae that she would like them to meet because she has something important to say. Seungtae is curious, and he asks the girl what she wants to say, but she insists that they meet before she mentions anything. On his way to the meeting, Seungtae still tries Jungpyo's number, but it fails to go through. He continues to wonder where Jungpyo dropped his phone and hopes he will call back later. Before the meeting, Juha thinks about all she wants to say and how she wants to say it. On the other hand, Seungtae is also wondering what Juha wants to discuss with him. Moments later, the two meet, and Juha takes Seungtae to a tteokbokki stand to get a plate of the delicacy. While eating the dish, Seungtae goes straight to the point, asking Juha why she wanted to see him. Without wasting time, Juha hits Seungtae with a bang. Juha asks Seungtae if they are already dating because of the events of the night before. Seungtae is thrown aback by this question, as he is confused. He has no memory of what happened the night before, or why Juha would believe that they are dating. Juha then reveals that they shared a kiss the night before. Seungtae doesn't remember this, but even if he did, he doesn't think sharing a kiss automatically signifies a relationship. Seungtae's response and body language break Juha, and she is forced to ask if he hates her. Seungtae tries telling the girl that he doesn't hate her and that it was just a kiss, but this only earns him a kick on the leg. Eventually, he asks about what transpired between her and Youngpyo because he assumed that they were together having fun, but this only makes Juha mad. Juha doesn't believe that Seungtae thinks so little of her. Apparently, Juha wasn't with Youngpyo the night before, and the accusation by Seungtae has gotten her really mad. Juha tells him that she hates him and turns back to leave. Juha gets even more mad when she realizes that Seungtae is not trying to stop her. After she is gone, the people who witnessed the entire thing start calling Seungtae all sorts of trash names. Just then, Seungtae gets a call from Youngpyo. He's shocked to see this since he has been trying to reach him since like forever. Oddly, Youngpyo asks him to come over to the store. Getting to the store, Seungtae wastes no time before hitting Youngpyo with a series of questions. He asks to know where on earth he was, and finally, Youngpyo reveals that he was at a motel overnight. Youngpyo reveals that he was having fun with the girl he met at the club. Apparently, Youngpyo didn't leave the club with Juha. Instead, he left with the chick from the club, and they had fun all through the night. This is when Seungtae realizes that he has messed up. Juha was innocent after all, and he basically accused her of being with Youngpyo. Seungtae starts to feel sorry, but the deed has been done already, and Juha is now in her room, reliving the entire scenario. Overwhelmed by everything, Juha decides to pick up her phone. She calls Songa to ask her where she is so they can meet because she is in a bad spot, and she needs someone she can talk to. After getting a call from Juha, Songa wonders what the girl wants to talk about. A few minutes later, the two meet so that they can talk. Juha tells her friend that she is there for her about men-related stuff and that she needs her advice. Before jumping into what they need to discuss, they waste a few seconds mocking their other friend, Sumin, about her choice of men. Later on, they arrive at a cafe, and Sumin also joins them. Juha then tells her friends about her relationship with Seungdae and how the guy has been ignoring every green light she throws in his way. She is even frustrated at this point, and she believes that the guy is interested in guys, not girls. However, Songa knows better, and she tells her friend that she doubts the fact that Seungdae is into men. Out of desperation, Juha tells her friends that she needs advice to make Seungdae hers. It is pretty obvious that the girl is head over heels for Seungtae, and she would do anything to get into a relationship with him. At that moment, an idea comes into Sumin's head. A few days later, Seungtae is in his room, job hunting, when he gets a call from Bong Yu. He is surprised when his friend invites him out to dinner. Apparently, Sumin and Bong Yu have a date, but Sumin has insisted that Seungtae be present with Juha. He is shocked by this sudden condition attached to the date, and when he questions his friend about this, he simply replies that he doesn't know. Our MC wants to refuse the offer, but his friends insist. In the end, he manages to convince his friend to come on the date while accompanied by Juha. On D-Day, our MC meets with his date, and they rendezvous with the latest couple in town. Bong Yu thanks Seungtae for coming on the date because, without him, Sumin wouldn't have agreed to go out with him. The four visit a theater to watch a movie. Sumin and Bong Yu are all over each other, while Juha and Seungtae are behaving like complete strangers. Leaving the theater, they visit the arcade to have a bit of fun. Juha and Seungtae's distant body language remains the same. Minutes later, Bong Yu lets his friend know that it is time for them to leave. The fat guy and his babe leave to find a hotel room to have fun, while they leave our MC and Juha to sort things out. Our guy tries starting up a conversation with Juha, but she throws him off, letting him know that she is a cold girl for the night. Even Seungtae is shocked to hear this, and he starts to wonder if his riz is not enough. On the other hand, Bong Yu has started making his move too. Sumin believes that they are there to watch a movie, but she is shocked when her new boyfriend starts to have fun with her. When it is time for Seungtae to leave, Juha suggests walking him home, but he refuses. When he realizes that the girl won't budge, he agrees to let her know his place. Upon getting there, Seungtae is more shocked when Juha insists that she wants to see inside the apartment. Our MC outrightly refuses this request, letting Juha know that it is not right for a lady to barge into a guy's house. To avoid all the drama, he immediately offered to call her a taxi, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. When our MC realizes that Juha is stubborn, he derives another means to evade her. He tricks her into looking the other way while he makes a run into his apartment. Juha is hurt, but there is nothing she can do about it. Seungtae is not proud of what he did, but he knows that he might make a mistake if he allows the girl to enter. He has made a mistake before, and he is not about to repeat it with Juha. Outside, Juha checks her phone to see if Sumin is done with her boyfriend, but it seems the two are still enjoying each other's company. On the other hand, Songa is worried that Juha is still with Seungdae. She is now worried, and jealousy is written all over her face. In her head, she already believes that our MC and Juha are currently riding it out somewhere safe. Unknown to her, our favorite teacher is in his room boiling a pack of noodles to eat. He is also worried about Juha, and he thinks of texting her to know if she got home safely. Just as he grabs his phone to text Juha, he sees another message waiting for him. Sungtae is ultimately shocked when he sees Songa's message asking him what he is currently doing. At that moment, what flashed through his head was the fun that he and Songa had. Sungtae manages to get the thought out of his head, and he replies that he is about to eat. Songa then wastes no time in proposing that they leave to have a drink. Sungtae sits down to think about the offer, and while he is lost in his thoughts, his precious noodles overboil. After some minutes of pondering over the situation, he finally agrees to go out with Songa. In his little head, he believes that he is there to straighten things out with Songa and nothing more. He wants to talk about the events of the previous day and how they can move past them. Shortly afterward, Juha arrives in the bar where our MC is waiting. She doesn't disappoint. She makes sure to wear a provocative dress in an attempt to tempt Sungdae again. She wastes no time asking him what he did with Juha when they met earlier that day. Sungtae wastes no time explaining the situation to Songa. He lets her know that nothing happened between him and Songa. They only went to the movies, and that was it. After this, Songa asks Sungtae about his career. She wants to know if he is prepared to become a teacher after he is done with college, but he tells her that he has no interest in this. As for the teacher training that he took, it was his professor's idea. In no time, the conversation starts to shift to the fun that they had the previous day. Before they know it, the talk evolves into a provocative thought, and they end up having fun yet again. Sungtae tries everything in his power to resist the temptation, but he can't, and he ends up having fun with Songa the second time. Meanwhile, Juha is trying to reach Songa, but doesn't know that she is currently beside the man she can't have, Sungtae. Juha believes that her friend is asleep, but her curiosity wouldn't let her rest. She still ends up texting Songa, asking her if she is busy. Unknown to her, Songa is actually quite busy, but not the kind of busy that she would expect. While Songa and Sungtae are busy having fun, he starts to think about how Songa was the quiet one out of the three friends, but seems she is the most badass after all. Once they are done with their business, Songa realizes that she already has a call from Juha. The two are shocked to see this, and they wonder why Juha is calling. Songa returned the call, lying to her friend that she was asleep. Songa is absolutely shocked when she learns that Juha would like to see her. Even our MC is shocked to hear this. He is more shocked about Songa's reaction. She acts like she doesn't know that Juha is interested in the teacher, and this freaks our MC out. Sungtae just assumes that Songa doesn't see what they are doing as being weird and nothing more. Moments later, Songa meets Juha in a bar. Without wasting time, she starts ranting to her friend about how she is hurt. She complains about the fact that she wants Sungtae, but things are not going the way she wants. Out of nowhere, Songa drops a bombshell on her friend, telling her that she met with Sungtae after his date with Juha. Juha immediately asks her friend why she met with the man she is obviously interested in. Songa assures Juha that it is nothing serious. She lies that she only met with the guy because of Juha. She is aware that her friend is having a hard time with the guy, and she is just trying to help. Songa lies that she talked to Sungtae over some drinks, and everything they talked about is Juha. Juha is immediately interested in the conversation. She wants to know what Sungtae thinks about her. Her friend then assures her that Sungtae actually sees her as a woman. However, Songa believes that it would be best for her friend to talk to the guy herself. She advises that she talk to him over a few glasses of drink. Songa tells her friend that Sungtae is a stiff guy, and the only way to get him to be free is to get him drunk. She is of the belief that our MC is more honest whenever he is drunk, and by this, Juha will have all the information that she needs. Meanwhile, Sungtae is in his room, and he is busy fantasizing about Songa and her body. In a flashback, he remembers Juha getting mad at him for not telling her that he had a girlfriend then. She threatens not to talk to him again, and the guy takes this to be the best thing. However, Juha finds it hard to ghost our guy, and she ends up texting him, asking when he is going to break up with her girlfriend. To make things worse, Juha even tells our guy that he would have no choice but to marry her. In the present day, Sungtae is still in the middle of his thoughts when he hears a knock on the door. He opens the door and is shocked to see Juha at his door. Apparently, Juha dashed out of the bar when she learned about our MC's weakness for strong wine. Before Sungtae can stop her, she dashes into the room with drinks in her hand. Abandoning all forms of courtesy, she sits on the bed and also tells Sungtae to join her. She tells Sungtae of her plan to drink with him. She also wants to know what the guy thinks of her as a woman. Sungtae tries acting like a man by telling Juha to get off his bed, but she is too thick-headed to listen. She urges the guy to calm down and just sit beside her. Our MC grabs her by the hand and tries dragging her out of the room, but she shakes him off. She returns to the bed and lets our guy know that she is not going anywhere. She then begs him to sit down and listen to what she has to say. Sungtae tries to remind the girl that her parents will be worried about her, but she counters this by telling him that she lives with her grandmother, not her parents. She wastes no time pouring some of the drink into a cup. She then reveals that she just left Songa in a bar and she learned a few things from her. She doesn't hide the fact that Sungtae's weakness is strong drinks, and this is why she is there. Juha then asks Sungtae if he has any feelings for her, but he says no. She is visibly hurt by this, but wouldn't take no for an answer. She gives him the cup filled with drink and urges him to drink it. She wants to know his answer after he has taken the drink. He takes the drink from her, gulps it, and lets it be known again that he has no feelings for her. At this point, Juha concludes that our guy is nothing but a jerk. In a desperate attempt, she jumps on the guy so he can feel her body. She then asks him if he feels anything toward her. At this point, she is starting to go crazy because she doesn't know why the guy wouldn't look at her. Juha gets closer to the guy, pressing her body against his. This is starting to affect Sungtae, even though he is resisting. Out of nowhere, she locks lips with him, and in return, he grabs her from behind. Sungtae is already losing himself, and he pulls down Juha's trousers. Juha realizes that things are going too far and immediately jumps off. Our MC is shocked to see this, and he tries to shift all the blame to Juha. After all, she was the one who showed up to his place all drunk. In addition to that, she is the one who seduces him. Juha then looks Sungtae in the eye, asking him what he wants from her because it is damn clear what she wants from him.